where else we going? Let's keep going. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 21 real quick. Let's check out the camera. Make sure it's going all right. Yep, looking good. All right, Wisdom of Solomon 2 verse 21. I think. Yeah, linking up with that last scripture that the elect is going to understand the Most High's truth, that his ways are plain to the holy, but stumbling blocks into the wicked. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 21. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not. Neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, nor discern the reward for blameless souls. Now, really going into like when people look at us or look at the brothers teaching, you know, they hope evil on us. But let me read it again. See, it says, such things they did imagine and were deceived. You're deceived. Whenever a brother goes through tribulation, one of the elect brothers or one of the brothers, you know, trying to do the work or trying to be righteous, that's the Most High that's testing us, all right? But you're a deceiver. You think that we going through it because we're wicked, okay? Because you don't understand the truth. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. As for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not. Right, you don't know the mysteries of the Most High because his ways are plain to the holy, but they're stumbling blocks to the wicked. All right? As for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not. Neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, nor discern the reward for blameless souls. And the blameless souls are the elect that understand the truth. The rest of you don't. Okay? Let's go now. Let's go to Psalm 16 verse 4. Let's read that. This will link up with those other scriptures we were reading over there in Isaiah 28 and 2 and Isaiah 29 and 6. This is further reasons why the Most High is allowing plagues to hit America like that. You know? Because it is a plague and it's putting a strain on America's resources, okay? Wait for the truck to go by. Yeah, when the Most High sent forth plagues, it's putting a strain on America's resources. Now they gotta send power crews and fire trucks and what do they call it? Aid and FEMA and Feed the Children, all that. You gotta send all these different Red Cross, these organizations to help those people over there. You know, help the people up there in the Northeast. You know, you gotta send, like I said, you gotta send power crews from other states having a hard time, you know, getting the power restored to people. You know, and that's the Most High chastising you with plagues, sore plagues being sent on you. Why is the Most High doing that? Why is he allowing that to happen? Let's read it. Psalm 16, verse 4. Psalm 16 and 4. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another God. You see? Their sorrows are multiplied if you hasten after another God. Those Israelites up in the Northeast, they ain't worshiping the Most High in spirit and truth. They worshiping white Jesus, man. They worshiping Allah, Buddha, all this other shit. Over there in New Jersey and Philadelphia, they big on that whole Islam crap. They worshiping false gods and idols. And those that's the regular jakes among them, they worshiping white Jesus. Some of them go as far as being Buddhists. You know, and they're all kind of weird religions, worshiping their children and whatnot. You know, that's why the Most High is sending sorrows on you, because you're worshiping another God. You know? Let's see. This is that main false god you jakes worshiping down here in the South. That's the reason why your homes got flooded back 2 months ago, because you're worshiping this guy, the devil, Caesar Borgia, and the so-called white man. Put up the image of so-called Jesus saying that he looked like him. This is the abomination. The abomination of desolation, part of it anyway. Reading again, Psalm 16 and 4. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another God. And that word hasten in the column is got a precept that says, give gifts to another. You know, their sorrow shall be multiplied to give gifts to another God. And what do you give them? What do you give this false God? You pay your tithes to his organization. You think you can buy gifts from them. You think you can get prosperity from them. Their sorrow shall be multiplied that hasten or give gifts unto another god. You know, what else do you give them? Your allegiance, your time. You know, you make offerings and sacrifices and burn incense to him and bow down to his image. You know, so-called Latinos up there on the East Coast, they be doing all that shit. Making shrines and shit, bowing down to him. You got those little bodegas, those little shrines, and little bodegas and shops that you go into, those botanicas. You know, you're worshiping this another god. That's why the Most High drove you out of your homes, flooded your neighborhoods, and burnt up your houses. You know, and a lot of you lost family members and got killed and got displaced. That's why. Why did that happen? Psalm 16:4. Their sorrow shall be multiplied that hasten after another god. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. So there it is. Your drink offerings. The Most High said he ain't gonna accept that. You know, that's your drink offering. You know, you pour out liquor to them gods. Even you dumb niggas in the hood, you pour out that liquor for the ones that died before you. You know, you do that as a symbol of like they can receive that when you pour it into the ground. You also got those drink offerings you make to other gods. You make drinks and stuff, it's like you do for so-called Santa Claus. That's one of your idols that you worship, Santa Claus, leaving milk and cookies and shit. You know, you make shrines and those botanicas, and those little gardens and botanicas and those shrines and stuff that you set up. You're doing that for your false gods that you worship. All right, bring out something else. And that's why your sorrows are multiplied when you hasten after another god, which is not the Most High. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 15. Let's read this. It's going to be beautiful right here. Wisdom of Solomon 16 verse 15. Now this is talking about the Egyptians back in the old days, but it can be applied to now. Okay? Just like we read this in the time when that tsunami hit over there in Japan. You know, those false gods and idols you people worship. But it can also be applied over here. Because their sorrow shall be hastened at their sorrow shall be multiplied to hasten after another god. Read that. Wisdom of Solomon 16 verse 15. But Wisdom of Solomon 16 verse 15. But it is not possible to escape thine hand. For the ungodly that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine arm. Right, the ungodly, those Israelites and those other heathen nations that refuse to know the Most High, which the heathen nations can't know them, but you ungodly Israelites that refuse to know the Most High, we bring out the truth, you were scourged by the Most High's arm. Now let's find out what that arm is. Read it again. Wisdom of Solomon 16 verse 16. For the ungodly that denied to know thee was scourged by the strength of thine arm. With strange rains, hails, and showers were they persecuted, that they could not avoid, and through fire were they consumed. That's right. A hurricane and strange rain, storms coming through, tempests, and through fire were you persecuted. Some of your houses got burned up there. That's the Most High persecuted. Okay? With strange rains, hails, and showers were they persecuted, that they could not avoid, and through fire were they consumed. For which is most to be wondered at, the fire had more force in the water that quencheth all things, for the world fighteth for the righteous. That's right. The world, you know, the elements, the cosmos fight for the righteous. You know, that's the Most High bringing forth that. They're fighting for the righteous, for the Israelites, okay, for the elected house of Israel. Because for our sake, the Most High doing that. We prophesied the word unto you. We told you the Most High was going to bring forth disasters and tribulation, plagues and anguish. You don't listen to it, but that's all right. The world fighting for the righteous. Okay? And it said what? For which is the most to be wondered at, the fire had more force in the water that quenches all things, for the world fighteth for the righteous. For sometimes the flame was mitigated, that it might burn up the beasts that were sent against the ungodly, but themselves might see and perceive that they were persecuted with the judgment of God. And that Hurricane Sandy is the judgment of the Most High. Now again, this scripture is specifically talking about the Egyptians, but we're applying it to what happened with Hurricane Sandy, because you have flames burning inside of the hurricane, burning up people's houses where those transformers explode, which is the Most High allowing that to happen. And at another time it burneth even in the midst of water above the power of fire, that it might destroy the fruits of an unjust land. An unjust land, Babylon the Great, America. Alright, and it's burning up the fruits thereof. What are the fruits? Your beautiful houses, you know, your brownstones, you know, your palaces of brick, your altars of brick that you built. Even, I'm sure some churches got hit in them neighborhoods that got, you know, destroyed or whatever, turning it rubble and toothpicks. That's the Most High doing that, you know. Hey, that's a beautiful thing. We're going to keep bringing out more scriptures of destruction that the Most High sent forth. Read it again. And at another time it burneth even in the midst of water above the power of fire, that it might destroy the fruits of an unjust land. Why does it say that? Because that fire burning above the power of fire in the midst of water. You know, the power of fire is to burn but be quenched by water. But when it burns, even when there's water present, that's above the power of fire, showing you that is spiritual. You know, just like it happened in the tsunami, just like it always happens whenever there's a storm or a tempest or a flood or hurricane, you still got places that burn inside of those storms. That's showing that that's a spiritual thing. That's the same thing like it's going to be with Babylon the Great. The Most High going to bring forth these fires, and even when it rains, it ain't going to be quenched. This fire ain't going to be quenched even in rain. You're going to have fire crews going forth, firemen trying to put out those nuclear fires, and it ain't going to work. That water ain't even going to phase it. That fire retardant foam, it ain't going to work. You ain't going to be able to put out the fires that the Most High sent forth. It ain't going to work, okay? It ain't going to work. All right? I mean, I'm just relishing that the fact that the Most High did so. You know, the water, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, for making your presence be felt. Let's go to Isaiah 30 and 30 right quick. See what it says. Keep a close watch on the batteries. All right, we're going to read one more scripture. And we're going to change the batteries. All right, this is Isaiah 30, verse 30.